gives this woman to be married to this man?
I do. On behalf of myself and my wife, 3 sisters.
Fantastic. Caleb, you can take your bride. Caleb and Misha, this is exciting. What a journey you both have been on to get you here. You've walked up here today single, yet promised to each other. And today you get to fulfill that promise to one another through the beautiful order of marriage. And what an absolute privilege that is. Misha, I want to offer you some words of encouragement. You see, in a few moments, Caleb will become the leader of your new household. This is a massive privilege for any husband. Can you feel the weight of it? Learn to celebrate him when he succeeds, no matter what he puts his hands to. And also learn to lift him up when he makes mistakes, for he will no doubt make some mistakes. That's just part of life. But it is a part of life that neither of you will ever have to endure by yourselves ever again. You're about to be one. You're about to be together forever. So I encourage you to allow him to lead. Allow him to put forth his best efforts in these new steps, in this new role, with authority and confidence as you graciously support him. Caleb, in a few moments, Misha will become like one flesh to you. You'll be privileged to love her unconditionally. You see, God designed it this way. He explains it in Genesis chapter 2 when he said, "Man shall leave his father and mother and be joined to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh." So you'll be privileged to love her unconditionally as one flesh. This love is unlike any other love that she'll ever experience. It's different from the love of a family member or even kids. It's a love that's special. It's reserved for that of a spouse only. So I challenge you to love her unconditionally. Do this on the easy days and do this on the hard days. My wife recently decided to get a rabbit and let it be a free roaming rabbit throughout the house. This was a challenging day for me. The rabbit has destroyed many iPhone cables. He's chewed up the couch, the carpet, the curtains, the remote control. He's destroyed everything. But I love my wife, so I endure the rabbit. So I've discovered that as my love for God grows, my love for my wife, my kids, everybody around me actually grows as well. You see, your growing love protects the both of you guys. Anybody who's ever been married will tell you that at times it may be difficult. But choose in those difficult moments to love, for love is a choice. To love out of patience and understanding, it's then that your love will shine the brightest. Misha has mentioned to me that she appreciates your heart and your unconditional love. She admires your selflessness and you're always willing to take care of everybody else. She says you truly are a kind person who's willing to lay down your own body on the coals so that others can walk across unharmed. That's just the kind of man you are. Caleb's mentioned to me how it's his tendency to sometimes overthink things and to be in his head. But Misha very naturally keeps him grounded, and it's a constant reminder to him to be present, to be in the moment, to enjoy the beauty of life that's all around him. I love that Caleb desired me to read this beautiful portion of Scripture, as I know it conveys his heart and it's parallel to God's heart concerning what true love is. It's found in 1 Corinthians 13, verse 4. It says, "Love is patient, love is kind, it does not envy, and it does not boast. It is not proud, it is not rude, and it is not self-seeking. It is not easily angered, and it keeps no record of wrongs." I like that one. "Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices with the truth. It always protects, always trusts, and always hopes. It always perseveres. Love never fails." What a mandate to live by. Something that will guide this new family in tremendous ways. Proverbs 18:22 tells us that when a man finds a wife, he finds a good thing. Well, Caleb, today, you're finding a really, really good thing. Now, all that being said, Caleb, do you choose Misha for life? Will you promise your deepest love and your fullest devotion, your tenderest care through the pressures of the present and the uncertainties of the future? Do you promise to be faithful, supportive, and loyal, and to give her your companionship and love throughout all the challenges of your lives? Do you vow to bring her happiness, and will you treasure her as your companion? Will you celebrate the joys of life with her? Do you promise to support her dreams and walk beside her, offering courage and strength through every endeavor? From this day forward, is your heart saying, "I will be proud to be your husband and your best friend forever"? And if it is, then say, "I do."
I do.
All right. Caleb has so bravely chosen to share some of his own personal vows with Misha, so let's go ahead and do those.
Misha, a little less than 3 years ago, I caught myself admiring your beautiful curly brown hair and contagious smile from across a PT clinic in Santan Valley. I started working at that clinic shortly thereafter, and it was in your training me that we would get to know each other. It was strictly business for a brief moment, but I think we both felt an inclination for more. I tried to reject this feeling for some time, as I was still in the process of digging myself out of a rough spot mentally, but resistance was futile. After our first official date at the Lantern Festival, I couldn't help but feel like you were going to be the center of my world for a long time. We dated and grew closer for some time, but there eventually became 2 focal points at the center of my world when you allowed me the privilege of meeting Mia. I'm not an especially spiritual person, but it took very little time for me to feel connected to Mia in this way, as if there was a reason your path and my path had crossed and that I was meant to be in her life. Since then, you guys have brought so much joy into my life and into my family's lives, and I can't thank you enough for that. You've given me a sense of what it feels like to support you as a mother and a partner, and it's made me excited to work together, along with the supportive village we are fortunate enough to have in each of our lives, to build on the family we are establishing here today. With that said, it is my promise to you to always put you and our family above all else, to cherish you, the laughter we share, and the way in which you make me feel loved, to support you in everything you do, especially when life presents us with its challenges, to make you laugh even when you're mad and don't want to say sorry even when I'm mad and don't want to, and to protect and provide for you and our family every day of my life. We make an excellent team when we're on the same team, and I can't wait to weather the hard times and celebrate the good times with you by my side, babe. I'm lucky to have your family as my family, Mia as my daughter, and to be able to call you my wife. I love you so much.
Man, that was good. Not a dry eye in the place. Misha, do you take Caleb for your life? Will you promise your deepest love and your fullest devotion, your tenderest care through the pressures of the present and the uncertainties of the future? Do you promise to be faithful and supportive, loyal, and to give your companionship, your love throughout all the challenges of life? Do you vow to bring him happiness? And will you treasure him as your companion? Will you celebrate the joys of life with him? Do you promise to support his dreams and walk beside him, offering courage and strength through every endeavor from this day forward? Is your heart saying, I will be proud to be your wife and your best friend forever? And if it is, then say, I do.
I do.
All right. Let's go ahead and do your vows.
Before I met Caleb, I decided that I'd be a single mom, and I was okay with that. I knew being alone and providing for my daughter was better than bringing someone... Sorry. I knew being alone and providing for my daughter was better than bringing someone into our lives that wasn't worthy of being there. But then on October 28th, 2019, I met this guy, and from the first time he smiled at me, I knew I was in trouble. Talking to him was easy and comfortable. Our first date 3 weeks later would be my last first date. Halfway through that night, I was thinking I felt like I had known him forever. Sorry. Oh, thank you. A few minutes later, he said that very same thing. That night, I left knowing this was someone I would need to make time for. Shortly after I met the Gastellos, and the more I was around them, the more I thought about how happy and lucky I would be to be a part of their family. They were genuinely good people with such big hearts. Our relationship wasn't always easy. It was hard for Caleb to learn how to lose arguments. But we got here eventually. The closer we became, the more we learned that we wanted the same things out of life: family, love, and good food. As I watched him interact with Mia, wanting her to come on dates and being disappointed if I showed up to his house without her, aside from being a little offended that he wasn't excited to see me, I admired how much he cared for Mia. I could tell he loved her, probably more than he loved me, but hey, whatever kept him around. Thanks, Mia. I know she's a big part of why we are here today. And I thank Caleb with my whole heart that he had a big enough heart. Sorry, I can't turn the page. This one. Big enough heart to take us in. Thank you for loving my daughter as your own, and now our daughter. I hope today that we always remember our love as it is right now, pure and simple. I hope we can always have an open line of communication and friendship. I hope we grow old cooking in the kitchen together and canceling plans just to stay home and spend time with each other instead. I know marriage isn't easy, but there's no one I'd rather fight with and then make up with than you, Caleb. Bear with us, family. I am honestly honored and blessed to be a part of another amazing family. Because of a day almost 3 years ago, our families will be joined forever, and our little family here today will only grow stronger and maybe a little bit bigger. Thank you, Frank and Tanya, for raising a wonderful boy that turned into an amazing man. I choose you today and forever. I love you. I'm ready if you are.
Wow. It's really easy to love you guys. That was beautiful. Well, there will never be another person on the face of the earth that will mean as much to you both as you now mean to each other. Everything around you is going to be fighting for your attention. Sometimes even the things that fight for your attention are good things. But I would say that you should definitely keep your spouse and your family right at the top of that list. Give each other space and grace to do this. You must be willing to fight for your marriage, to fight for each other, to fight for your love. You see, a day will come where your devotion and love to each other will be tested. You both must then stand and fight together. If you will, I have no doubt you'll never go wrong. One of the greatest gifts you could ever give to those around you is to allow them to see you two madly in love with each other at all times. Clearly, you have no problem doing that. People are watching you. That's fine. Let them watch. Never be ashamed of the fact you're crazy in love with each other. You see, people need to see that. This passionate love for each other is difficult to find nowadays, believe me. Your children will forever treasure seeing this love in the both of you. So put your love on display for your family and friends to see. Our world needs to see long-lasting, fully committed lovers as often as possible. Now, speaking of that eternal love, Caleb, you can go ahead and take Misha's ring. Now, a ring by itself is a very precious thing. It's usually made out of precious metals and beautiful jewels. However, there will never be other rings that will hold the significance that these rings now carry. It is a never-ending circle that indicates that never-ending love that you both now share for each other. So I want you to wear these rings as a continual reminder of your commitment and your devotion and love to each other. And as often as you see these tokens of love and devotion, remind yourself to romance your true love. So Caleb, go ahead and take that ring and place it on her finger as you say this to her. Say, today, I choose to marry you with all that I have and all that I am. I give you this ring as a symbol of my promise to be with you as long as I live. With this ring, I happily marry you and join my life to yours forever. All right. Misha, may I have Caleb's ring, please? You can go ahead and hold on to it. A ring serves as a constant reminder of enduring love for one another. It's never a shackle of bondage. Caleb, never forget that Misha now stands by your side, not under your feet. You have the responsibility to care for her physically, emotionally, and in every facet of her being. She is your helpmate and will always need you to be close to her. And this ring will serve as these reminders forever. So Misha, take that ring and go ahead and place it on his finger as you say this to him. Today, I choose to marry you with all that I have and all that I am. I give you this ring as a symbol of my promise to be with you as long as I live. With this ring, I happily marry you and join my life to yours forever. So good. Well, Caleb and Misha have chosen to symbolically piece together their two lives, and this puzzle piece now only has there's only certain spaces that a puzzle can have certain pieces fit. And you guys obviously found that perfectly fitting piece with each other. So I'm going to go ahead and allow you to symbolically blend your lives together by putting this puzzle together. All right, perfect. We can go back to our spot. Well, I think I speak for all of us when I say it's a privilege to witness this beautiful union at this beautiful place. I mean, we're on one of the most gorgeous cities on the planet and one of the most gorgeous cliffs in that city. This is a special thing. We're all very excited to see your lives continue to unfold together for the first time as husband and wife, so thanks for allowing us to be part of this. Would everybody quickly and briefly join me in a quick word of prayer, blessing over the happy couple? Mighty God, we thank you for this new family and this wonderful thing that you're bringing together today for the very first time. I'm asking that joy would fill their house. I'm asking that peace would be about them in great ways, that your love would be eminent and tangible in every facet of their marriage. Continue to allow your presence to be there in a wonderful way, that every single day they would grow in their love for each other. We bless them in your name. Amen. Well, as you're already joining hands and facing each other, after hearing the vows of your love and devotion to each other and the certainty of the understanding you both share for this moment, it is my great pleasure to now pronounce you husband and wife. Caleb, you may kiss your bride. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my great pleasure to introduce to you for the very first time ever as husband and wife, Mr. and Mrs. Gustello.
Feel like sun on my skin.